All right, guys, so whenever you guys go, you can start.
Hi, I'm Kelly Dana Peter,
Connor Green. Adrian Christopher.
Tommy Feeney.
and we are Campus Culture. We are an app-based platform that allows high school students to contact college students and see their experiences to get a better understanding about each college.
Now, I'm guessing that most of you have gone through or will go through the daunting process of helping your child pick the perfect college. A study according to the National Student Research Center, 37% of college students will transfer at least one time within their college years. Imagine you spend $70,000 a year to send your child to college, only receive a phone call home that they are unhappy because it is not the experience that they were expecting. Nothing is worse for a parent than knowing that their child is unhappy and stressed out, especially when their child can be living far from home.
So our goal here at Campus Culture is to help all high school students make the right decision the first time around. We have designed a social media-based app that allows high school students to talk and communicate with real college students about their unique and personal experiences to give those high school students a better understanding of their school of interest. We want everyone to be as comfortable as possible throughout the college search process, and we want to save the students and the parents the time, money, and stress of making a costly mistake in choosing the wrong college.
We give users the ability to connect with real college students and talk and share their experiences. We also give college students the ability to share their experiences and thoughts whilst getting rewarded to do so. We also give colleges a wide list of students who want to attend their universities, so it's advantageous to the colleges to be signed up because all these students want to go to their schools and they have access to them. We use platforms similar to Instagram and Facebook Messenger to allow for a smooth and simple sharing experience. As you can see, a student will go and select their school, then they can see all the posts that have ever been written about the school and all the students who have written. Then they can reach out to the students personally and talk to them as they please.
So some of our competitors are Barstool Sports and Niche. Both of these are indirect competitors because although they provide some of the same information that we provide, they're both on different setups and platforms. Barstool Sports runs social media accounts posting about the social life on colleges, but they lack the personal aspect that we have of allowing viewers to connect with the people in their posts. Niche is a website that provides basic facts and information, such as GPA requirements or test score requirements. And while Niche does have a social scene rating for each college, its downside is that it rates it on a scale of F to A+, without giving any specific detail or reason as to why the college received that grade.
So 85% of the students that we interviewed don't know where they want to go to college. A lot of these students have been using college tours and siblings to learn about the colleges, but there's really a common theme. They're not getting in-depth, personal insider information. What we aim to do with Campus Culture is give them this insider information and allow them to talk to college students from every single school so that they can't, they're only asking their siblings and that's just one school. We're going to give them access to all the schools.
So these are some of our potential customers that would use and benefit from our app. First we have Julie. Julie is a mother, and Julie values nothing more for her children than their safety. She wants to ensure that wherever her children go to college, they're as safe as they can be. Then we have Andy. Andy is a freshman in college, and Andy loves the university he's attending and loves to share his new opportunities and experiences with his peers. And what better way to do that than to share them with the new and up-and-coming students. Then we have Abby. Abby is also a college student, and at Abby's university, she is part of a Greek life. And Abby could greatly benefit from using our app through recruiting new members to her sorority. Finally, we have Joe. Joe is a senior in high school, and like a lot of high schoolers, Joe cares a great deal about his social life, and he wants to ensure that wherever he goes to in college, he fits in socially and it has a strong social scene.
Now we're going to be entering into a $39 billion market, and this includes famous apps such as Instagram, Snapchat, as well as Twitter and Facebook. Now this $39 billion includes all of the social media users on these platforms of all ages, so we're going to be focusing in on our serviceable market of $89 billion. And our serviceable market includes the potential prospective customers such as parents and high school students. We're not going to be getting all of our serviceable market in the first year, so we're anchoring in at our market share of $18,000 at the end of year one. There are 196 million social media users, and 57 million of them are high school and college students ages 17 to 24, which means we have the potential of having 57 million student users all connecting at the same time. Now, our app is free to purchase for all the users, but there will be the optional in-app purchase of $2.99 for high school students and parents. Now, what this gets you is this gets you the unlimited access to all colleges that you choose. With this, there is 45 cents that will be deducted out of the $2.99 based off of Apple Store and credit card fees, leaving us with 84% gross profit on each unit that we sell. Now, in year one, we thought a realistic pool of customers would be to go after students in our conference. There's roughly 10,000 students in our conference, and we're shooting to obtain 58% of them based off of a sample survey that we sent out and conducted earlier this year. Now, with doing so, this will leave us with 6,000 customers at the end of year one, and if all of those customers purchase our in-app purchase of $2.99, that leaves us with our revenue of $18,000 in year one. Now, when we transition to our year 5 projections, this will consist of expanding our market to other Chicagoland high schools such as Stevenson, New Trier, as well as targeting high schools surrounding college campuses in states in Indiana, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. With doing so, this will help us target the broader audience that we are looking for. We're also going to plan on continue hiring a marketing agent that will help us increase our Instagram ads and make our Instagram ads more appealing with better content. Now, looking ahead, we have a money multiple set at 5.6 and 5.6 for investors and an internal rate of return of 43.4% on investors' money. We are also looking to sell our company to a strategic buyer, such as a competitor like Barstool Sports or Niche.
During our MVP process, we were trying to gain as much exposure as possible through Instagram ads as well as emails. And we also investigated what the communications would be like between high school students and college students and get their thoughts on the process. Now, we were in 3 GroupMe groups with roughly 20 students from Barrington High School in each that were interested in going to Indiana, Wisconsin, and Iowa. And we also had 1 current college student in each of these groups asking questions. We learned that when the students ask questions in the group, they learn very valuable information in their college search process. But we also learned that some students did not feel comfortable asking questions in such a big group like 20 people, which is why in our app it is going to be personal one-on-one, so students feel free to ask whatever they feel. Oh, I'm sorry. We spent $47 on a professional video and $38 on a logo. This will make our company seem more appealing and will also encourage students to learn more about what we are and what we do. We sent out 600 emails to Barrington High School students to learn their perspective on our app and gain more exposure throughout the school. Finally, we paid $25 on Instagram ads to gain more exposure for our page and also encourage students to join our GroupMe groups and to also click on our landing page where they can learn more about us. In total, we spent $110 on our MVP when we originally asked for $220.
Funding, so our startup cost would be around $26,000. This is due to the fact that app developers and the coding of the app is so expensive. Our maximum cumulative loss is around $300, and our liquidity cushion is around $5,000. This is due to the fact that if in the future our app comes across, like if it goes down or if there needs to be like future development through the app, we are giving a 40% stake in our company. So in total, we're asking for $32,000 to complete the startup costs and just get our app running.
So we are Campus Culture, helping you make educated decisions about your higher education. Thank you.
One of the, I remember when we spoke mid-year, we had some questions about how you were going to create the actual content, meaning the incentivize the students that were already at the schools to interact with the people who are actually paying for the app. Tell me a little bit more about your strategy there.
What we're gonna do is right off the bat, we're gonna pay them maybe with coupons and stuff like that, so they could go to Starbucks or whatever, based on where they go to college, and make it more personal to where they are on campus. But as we get bigger, we also plan on doing that, but on a more bigger scale. So if they get around 5 likes on a post, they could get a certain type of coupon or something like that, if they get good reviews by a student that found it helpful.
Can you share a little bit more about how you're deciding which schools to include? You mentioned a few. Just tell us how you're looking to grow, what those schools are. How are you targeting which schools you're going to engage on that side?
Well, for our MVP testing, we sent out a survey, and we were asking students what college they would be most interested in, and we got about 200 responses with emails, and the schools that we picked, Iowa, Wisconsin, Indiana, were some of the top schools that we got responses with in terms of this survey we sent out.
And also,
How would you be looking to grow that?
yeah, so we would also be looking for, as we grow into new campuses, like Barrington alumni that took this class, or friends that we know at each school, and then we could also get their friends at their school to use it as well.
I want to build off the content thought. Like, the only value to this is if you have content, right? And the dependency of having people post content and getting it feels like it's too risky. Like, what if people don't do that? Is there, perhaps there's a way where you can scrape the content or create the content yourself. So Barstool has some content that you would like to, I'm sure would be relevant to your content. So go take what's ever on Barstool, populate it on your site. Niche probably has content. Scrape their content, put it on there. And then what if you just followed a bunch of students that go to school there and retweet out their stuff and have your site kind of be a repository for people that you're following in the school. They're not perhaps giving you permission to post their stuff on your website, but I don't think they have to give you permission. They've posted this, so you just, but I would take control of populating the content as opposed to being dependent on people doing this. And I think that's where most of your energy needs, well, after you develop an app, so bigger, so you got to develop the app and then the content. And I wouldn't worry about charging for it. I think if you look at all the successful platforms like this, the very first thing they do is try to get content and users, and then they say, we'll figure out how to make money on it later. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, I think most of the social media sites have not worried about content, not worried about charging for it. So I wouldn't charge for it, and which sounds weird as an investor, say give it away, but your real value is going to be having thousands of people look at your content, and then you can start figuring out how to sell it.
That's something we haven't taken into consideration, but it's a good idea. So.
Could you scrape data? Can you think about just scraping data and consolidating it and saying, here's all the information that you need to know about this school?
Well, it's a great idea, but I think that part of our app is kind of like I was saying, the personal aspect. You kind of get to talk to a student directly versus just getting information just reading.
Well, I wouldn't abandon that. I would still allow them to do that. But it's one method. And to get the personal stuff is where you guys come in, where you literally need to follow what's going on that campus through all the different cohorts of students and populate it on your site.
I understand that.
I just want to ask a question around it. Did you explore at all and connect with a university or college around with either their admissions group or their recruiting group to see how you could leverage possibly what's happening already? Many schools have ambassador-type programs where they already have students who are proactively communicating their life on campus stories.
Right, so we actually talked to a couple universities, one of them being Vermont University, and we tried to reach out to them And we were thinking about it more, and we just thought we didn't want the schools to dictate as to what's being posted about their college. We wanted the students at the colleges to post and share their experiences, because as most of you know, not all college experiences are going to be fantastic and wonderful. Like, we also want the side where, like, maybe this didn't go wrong and students need to know, and prospective students need to know about that so they don't make the same mistake.
I would say that I think the value that you, and the insight you gained from your MVP, which I think you had a strong MVP, was that students wanted individual connection, and to your point, they want unbiased.
Right.
So I think that's good, but that may not preclude you from actually coordinating with those universities, because they may have some scale that could help you connect with that. So.
But I agree with the authentic, genuine nature of your content. That this is unbiased, unfiltered, authentic. Here's what's going on in the school. And I think it's going to be really hard, given the content nature of this, to do more than one school at a time. Like, you could think about just doing it as, you know, Iowa or whatever. And then add schools as you go. But it might be really hard to just try to boil the ocean, because there's just so many universities and you need so much content. And if it's only one school, nobody's going to pay for it. They might be interested. Oh yeah, I heard about that site. I'll go follow it. When you get to hundreds of schools, then you can monetize it.
One last question, what was the results of your advertising on Instagram?
We reached 22,000 individual people on Instagram, but we had a problem because we didn't narrow it down to like just like the Illinois area. So like we were kind of reaching people in like Texas and California and like all these different places. So they weren't really interested in what we had to offer, and we definitely should have revised our marketing strategy a little bit.
Yeah, I think it goes to what Michael was saying about start small and then make sure all of your actions and your efforts are very targeted. And let me just ask you, you mentioned a bunch of customer segments. If you only had enough money to go after, and clearly it's two-sided, so you need your school contacts, but if you had to choose between parents or students, what data would lead you to say one or the other there?
I think that more students use social media more than parents would, like on a daily basis. And I think that students would be really interested in talking to having a personal conversation with someone that goes there, so they could have a friend if they go there, or something like that. But yeah, I think if we had to pick, I think we'd choose students.
Can you unpack the 22,000 users that you attracted? Like, how did you refresh my memory on how you did that?
So we paid for an Instagram promotion, which cost $25. It ran for 5 days, I believe. And we just, like when you pay $25 on Instagram, it just says it guarantees you a reach of 18,000 to like 24,000 individual people. So that doesn't mean that those people clicked on our site necessarily and saw all of our content. It just means that when they're scrolling through their Instagram, they saw our post. And it doesn't mean that they interacted or liked it.
Do you know how many clicked through?
We got, I think, like 73 click-throughs, so it was very low.
Okay. I got it, yeah. I thought you had 22,000 click-throughs.
No.
Stop. Got something here. Do you have any ability amongst the five of you to code and kind of get a first-generation app built on your own? Or how are you planning on getting an app done with the $32,000?
So actually, my neighbor's an app developer, and then my good family friend is also an app developer. So we were asking them, yeah, they said that they could help us out with it.
Okay.
Last question here.
Some of the apps do cost a lot of money. You can probably get something done quick and dirty, which is what we recommend you do. Have you had any conversations with either the existing contacts you've had or anyone else that might take some equity in exchange for developing the app?
We spoke with actually her neighbor, And this was just like a brief discussion about like everything that we wanted, and he said it would roughly cost around, he could do it for around 25 to 30,000, which was a bit pricey. And we also discussed the whole equity part in it, and he said that he would get back to us on a later date, because he was the second.
Okay.